Pam Bondi walked into the hearing room with the confidence of someone expecting to win. Her heels clicked against the marble, her blazer sharp, her mind armed with rehearsed lines and talking points. What she didn't expect was for Jasmine Crockett to sit there, silent and calm, with a folder full of carefully timed bombs. The Rayburn House office building didn't feel chaotic. Not yet. But tension buzzed like static before lightning. Phones were recording, reporters leaned forward in their seats, and even congressional aides whispered nervously. It was the kind of room where something was about to happen, even if nobody knew what yet. Jasmine sat at the center, composed. Her papers were neatly aligned, her blazer uncreased, her afro sharp. She didn't scan the crowd, she didn't fidget, she waited. Her stillness was louder than any opening statement. Pam Bondi sat across from her, arms crossed, expression firm. The former Florida Attorney General had made a name for herself defending Trump-era legal chaos. Today, she came to defend it again. Chairman Liam Drummond tapped his mic. "We'll begin now," phones silent. The murmur died. Jasmine didn't jump in with emotion. She flipped a page, looked up, and began in a voice steady and strong. "This country has watched power protect itself with lies," she said. "Today, we talk about truth. No fireworks, no shouts." But the air in the room thickened. She read dates: June 14th, 2020, September 3rd, 2021, January 8th, 2022. With each one, you could hear a pin drop. "These aren't just days," she said. "They're decisions, communications, transactions, and they involve people at the very top." She tapped the folder. Not assistants, not interns, family, advisors, campaign officials. Pam Bondi's jaw tightened. She didn't blink. Crockett continued, pulling threads together, memos, emails, financial trails. No speculation, only what she called undeniable documentation. A pen tapped softly. A staffer shifted in their seat. Then came the quote, "No one will trace this back if we run it through the PAC." The air was pulled from the room. That quote had never been confirmed publicly before, and yet Jasmine read it like a grocery list. Calm, cold, complete. Pam Bondi leaned forward, just enough to show attention without surrender. "Are we seriously entertaining conspiracy theories?" she asked. Chairman Drummond raised his hand. "Let her finish." Crockett didn't look fazed. "This is no theory," she said. "Every document I present today is public. Financial disclosures, court filings, government archives." Bondi tried to smile. It came off more like a twitch. The details piled up. LLCs, wire transfers, untraceable invoices, names half redacted, patterns obvious. Jasmine never raised her voice. She didn't need to. The room was already holding its breath. Then came the second blow. "You once said, 'The truth doesn't have a party,'" Crockett said. "Do you still believe that?" Pam Bondi's smirk twitched. "I believe in context." Jasmine nodded. "Great, because here's more." She placed down another document. Transcripts from the House Financial Services Committee, whistleblower testimonies, emails from the White House scheduling office. Silence, then murmurs. Even some Republicans leaned in. Bondi erupted. "This is outrageous," she snapped. "This is a smear campaign." Drummond tapped the mic. "Let her speak." Jasmine turned steady. "Pam, I'm reading government records. These aren't my words. They're theirs." Then she dropped. The line that would echo across screens and headlines. "If we're afraid of the public hearing the truth because it might make someone uncomfortable, then maybe we're not the ones who should be sitting here." Bondi fumed. Her binder thudded onto the desk. "You're implying intent criminal behavior on live television," she shouted. Crockett leaned in. "I haven't accused anyone. I'm showing data. If that makes people uncomfortable, maybe they should ask why." The hush grew deeper. No denials, no jokes, no smirks. She pulled out another invoice. "Trump campaign, private firm in Vegas. $2.6 million labeled public relations but tied to foreign lobbying. Bondi scoffed. Legal? Not if it's paid with emergency relief funds, Crockett answered. A new ripple spread. A congressman leaned in. You're saying CARES Act funds were misused? Jasmine nodded. And confirmed in an internal email forwarded to a White House aide who now works at a think tank in Texas. Pam Bondi leaned in, voice shaking. You're tearing this country apart. Crockett stayed composed. No, I'm just not pretending this is normal. Silence. Again, you could hear only paper shuffling. You want Trump in cuffs, Bondi spat. You'll burn down Congress to get it. Crockett didn't blink. I want accountability. For him, for you, for anyone who hides behind titles to escape truth. That's not fire. That's sunlight. The chair called for a recess. Pam muttered, under her breath, loud enough for a hot mic. She's turning this into a damn circus. As Jasmine passed, she said one line, cool and low. You're just mad the circus has mirrors now. And the room stayed frozen, because everyone knew. Recess or not, this wasn't over. 15 minutes later, the hearing resumed, but something in the air had shifted. Not calmer, not looser, just tighter. Tense like pulled string. Jasmine Crockett returned to her seat with the same poise, same navy blazer, same calm folder. No entourage, no celebration, just work. Pam Bondi sat stiffer now, her hair pulled back, her jaw tighter than before. She wasn't seething. She was calculating. Chairman Drummond tapped the mic. Congresswoman Crockett, please continue. She didn't hesitate. Let's return to the timeline, she said. Her tone was matter of fact, like she was walking the room through a tutorial. Between November 15, 2020 and January 6, 2021, a series of memos circulated inside the executive office. Their language repeated one goal: delay certification, create alternate elector paths, reframe the outcome. She laid a new set of documents flat. 3 of these memos were written by a legal advisor currently under investigation. 2 others were reviewed by officials who refused to testify during the January 6 proceedings. She paused. Not speculation, not rumors, documents. Then she turned toward Bondi. Pam, are you familiar with Everett Maddox? Bondi blinked. Yes. An attorney, correct. He co-authored the alternate elector plan sent to officials in multiple swing states. He also received a $72,000 bonus 3 weeks before resigning. That bonus was routed through a backdated PAC transaction via a consulting group in Henderson, Nevada. The room didn't stir. It froze. Jasmine continued. Maddox once clerked for a federal judge who has since recused himself from 2 Trump-related cases. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. Bondi opened her mouth but hesitated. Crockett flipped to another tab in her binder. December 22, 2020. An email sent from a private construction company address in Pensacola discusses a soft approach to the Department of Homeland Security. The goal? Intercept logs of classified communications involving state voting infrastructure. A Republican rep leaned in. You're saying DHS was contacted? Not officially, Jasmine replied. That's the problem. These weren't operations. They were shadows. No record, no oversight. Just footprints in the dust. Bondi gripped her pen harder. Do you have proof that anyone inside the Trump administration approved that outreach? Crockett nodded and held up the email. Yes, with metadata, and a screenshot showing it was viewed by a senior aide 46 minutes after delivery. That aide has since deleted their account. Gasps? No. Just silence. The kind that said, "This just got serious." Chairman Drummond cleared his throat. Congresswoman, are you suggesting this was a coordinated effort to bypass government checks? I'm not suggesting it, Jasmine said. I'm saying the paper trail says it. Pam Bondi jumped back in. So what do you want? Impeachment? Indictments? Or just headlines? Jasmine didn't flinch. I want clarity. I want Americans to understand what's been happening behind polished podiums and sound bites. Bondi snapped. This is what happens when lawmakers... Act like prosecutors. No, Jasmine replied sharply. This is what happens when people stop pretending that power protects innocence. Another pause. Another line that landed heavy. Pam Bondi leaned forward. Her voice dropped to a warning growl. You'll regret this. When the cameras are gone. When the headlines fade. When your party moves on without you. Crockett's reply came without delay. If telling the truth costs me something, maybe it's worth more than I thought. Then she turned to the room, not Bondi anymore. She addressed the American people through the cameras. I know you're tired, she said. Tired of watching hearings that feel like reruns. Tired of blame. Tired of people talking circles while your bills pile up. But here's what I won't do. I won't act like what we know doesn't matter just because the people behind it have good lawyers and louder microphones. Her voice wasn't angry. It was tired. Heavy with the kind of fatigue that only comes from fighting uphill. This isn't about party, she said. It's about truth, and if we don't speak it here, where do we? That one sentence, the question, not the answer, was clipped within seconds. Viral before she even sat down. Bondi didn't reply. She just watched, quiet, flat, like someone doing the math and realizing the room wasn't going her way. Jasmine reached for one last document. This was an internal email from Treasury, she said, flagging a suspicious wire trail linked to a former president's immediate family. That staffer resigned 2 weeks later. The email was never logged. If I hadn't filed a FOIA request, it would have stayed buried. Even the press row froze. Reporters stopped typing. Crockett faced the cameras again. We've watched people twist facts while everyday folks lose jobs, homes, peace of mind. We've watched billion-dollar donors get golden exits while whistleblowers lose their health insurance. She paused. That's the imbalance. That's why I'm here. Bondi finally found her voice again. You think you're brave, but you're just reckless. No, Crockett answered. I'm just tired of waiting for someone else to say it first. The hearing ended not with a bang, but a silence that said, this wasn't over. Not even close.